So this video is long overdue. Um, this is basically an update of my server rack. I think the latest, I'll probably put a picture up, but the most current video that I have on the channel about my server rack is compared to this is like vastly out of date. I did put some shorts up talking about it, not even really talking about it, just kind of showing what the how far the rack has come in recent years, as opposed to from when I was first working on it up until now. But yeah, like this, it's a completely different beast now. It's changed quite a bit, and the configuration has changed a lot. It's essentially meant to serve as exactly what I needed to serve as. Whereas before in the past, I was essentially accumulating as much enterprise hardware as I possibly could in hopes of trying to learn as much as I could. And I did exactly that. I basically purchased all the enterprise hardware you could find on the internet at low prices and put that in the lab. And I mean, that's the whole point of a home lab, right? You know, it's meant to learn. It's meant so you learn a lot, and you pick up new skills and start testing out different configurations for your setup and just learn as you go. But essentially now it's changed to the point where it's meant to serve a purpose now, and I actually have a point as to what I'm running certain things for. Yeah, like let's get into it. This is gonna be weird, but I'm kind of gonna start from the bottom up. You know, start with the UPSs and get into that a little bit, and then we'll take we'll gradually go up to the very top of the network switch, which is probably my most favorite part of this entire. Well, it's the second favorite part of this entire thing, but yeah. So these two UPSs, they are EN5PX 3000 VA power supply UPSs, uninterruptible power supplies. They do work. I had to fix them. They were when I first got them. There was a guy on Facebook Marketplace that I was buying them from, and at the time, batteries were completely drained. They're supposed to be at like 12 volts, and when I took them out and started checking the voltage on all of them, oh my god, they were abysmal. There was some that was in the range of like 2 or 3 volts. The highest one that I saw was about 6 volts, and anything below like that 12 volt threshold, like 11, if it's 11 volts, you know, you're pushing it, but you can still probably use it. But anything below that, you should really replace it. But yeah, these I had to buy a bunch of batteries from. They were like they were like what, like $15-19 a pop. Had to buy them off of Amazon. I saw a couple of them that were $10 to $12, but you had to pay for shipping, and I was like, that's kind of pointless. I'm not gonna. I have Amazon. I have Amazon Prime, so I was just not gonna even do that. I have free shipping, so the amount of money that I would pay for the shipping like from that low price that you get, would I end up having to pay for shipping on that website. But I got those in, pulled out the modules. You pretty much just take this front panel off here, and then it'll all come off together. And then once you're done with that, you basically plug it back in and connect it all up. But it's pretty big. It goes pretty far back. These both are 3000 VA. At the time I paid for, they were about $220. I think the guy had it listed for $260 or $280, but I got these for about $220, $250, I think. I can't really remember the price, but they're all 3000 VA, both of them. And this top one, if I remember correctly, is connected to the network side along with one of the servers, and then this one is the rest of the components that are in the server rack. But you can't connect both of these together. If I had the So the head unit, which would be this part, and then there'd be like a battery backup where there wouldn't be any controller or anything. It would plug directly into the back of the UPS, and we'll go in more into that as we move around the rack. These we're going to talk about this part of the server rack. So before this was a 24U server rack that I got off of eBay, and this is actually supposed to be turned. This part is actually supposed to be turned around, supposed to be flipped, but I've kind of modified it a little bit. So I put a nut in the back of there so that it offset a little bit, but then it sat on top of here. But I modified it so that I could actually get these wheels on here and sit on them. So you can actually push this around, and it's pretty smooth actually. These wheels, it took me forever to find these. If I can, I'll put all the stuff that's in the video on like the wheels, the server rack, and the UPS and all this stuff, either in the description or in the video. Yeah, I modified this quite a bit. I actually cut it in half, so like it up to the 16U mark, because I was like, I don't need a 24U server rack. And I had the 24U server rack for a while, but I just kind of didn't really use all the units that were available. So yeah, that's really the wheels and the rack and the UPS. Now we can move on to the top portion of it. The next portion is going to be these two ones. So that's going to be this and this. This is your, I think it's the MD80. It's the MD1200. This is just the disk shelf, and it has 14 terabyte drives on the inside of them. Pretty expensive at the time of buying them, but for 14 terabytes to fill this up, not bad. Got them for about $220 for each drive. Only the top of these are filled. The rest of these, the next 8 needs to. I have some in my, I got some in some watch lists on eBay right now and on Amazon. Amazon is vastly more expensive. I will never shop with it. Like these specific drives though, I honestly don't have a problem with getting them secondhand, as long as the seller, they get they post the smart data, so I can actually make that informed decision on whether or not it'd be a good buy or not. But yeah, this is the disk shelf, and if you're wondering, this looks weird, right? Because this is not something that you can buy. I actually built this. I 3D printed it. It was to essentially to match all of these, and I was like, man, I really want some sort, because I hated the old one that's actually for this generation. It's just a flat piece of metal with like vents at the top and the bottom. I was like, that looks terrible. I hate that. Let me fabricate something. Let me build it. And yeah, it's the MD1200. I have it on my Thingiverse, this specifically on my Thingiverse. I'll put it in the link in the description, so that if you want to, you can go print it on like PCBWay or something, and get that shipped to you. But essentially, you just go ahead and it'll go right here, and then you just go ahead and slide it in, and then push it down, and then it snaps in place. You can even hear it. Let me see if I get it. There we go. And it's on there pretty tight. The tolerances, I had to rework the tolerances a couple of times with the 3D printer. I had to spray paint it. I don't really like how the paint kind of bled over to this, but I'm not too worried about it. This is the server itself. All these drives are filled up. They are 2 terabyte hard drives. There's a mix between the Exos and some, if I remember correctly, they are some Toshibas. Oh no, some Lenovo drives. They're all 2 terabytes. They're all CMR, not SMR. It was very difficult to find any larger CMR drives, and I had been searching for the longest time, and I couldn't find any like 3 or 4 terabytes. They were just like, they were all SMR. I couldn't find anything, and yeah, I had to I had to try to find a way to actually get this filled up without either going all SSDs, which we'll talk more about these two servers right here about the SSDs. But then the whole idea for this server is specifically the store server. So this is all TrueNAS right here. I'm running TrueNAS on this, and this is connected through, I can't remember the cable. It's I want to say fiber, but it's connected through whatever the modules for this MD1200. It's connected to a card on the inside. We're gonna open it up and we can take a peek on the inside here soon enough. But yeah, all of these are 2 terabytes, and I have a couple of NVMe drives as well. This server is pretty awesome. This one I had to modify a bit so that everything could fit exactly how I needed to. But yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the next server. We're gonna talk about the servers before I open them up, and then we'll just keep on moving forward. So this one is my application server. This one has SSDs. This is 960 gigabyte Dell EMC SSDs. I checked the smart data on all these drives when I got them from a guy on Facebook Marketplace. Fucking awesome dude. He was selling them. He didn't have a need for them. He got them. He tears down data centers for a living, and they were just like, hey, you guys can take these if you want. And at the time when I saw them on Facebook Marketplace, like, that is a deal that I cannot pass up. And it was right down the street from where I live. So I was like, I am gonna take a peek. I'm gonna see if it's real. I might get my liver stolen in the process, but hey, all in the process of Homelabbing, am I right? So this was like right before like all the AI stuff started going crazy, and DDR4 started going insane. We're on eBay now. If you want to buy some RAM, that's gonna, before it was like, hey, I need 16 gigabytes of RAM. Let me go ahead and buy that for like what, $100, maybe less, like maybe $60 or $70. And then nowadays you're lucky enough to find an 8 gigabyte stick that's less than $50, and you're just like, it's 8 gigs. Why are you charging me so much? And then this one is the AI server. It's the best one. It's the most prolific. It's awesome. I love it. This one has so I think I said it before, but this one's the application server. Is going to be running all my applications that I really want. I'm going to be running basically day to day. So really these 2 servers I'm going to be running all the time. This one I'm only going to be running when training models or running models specifically. But yeah, this one is, I'm on the wrong one, sorry. This AI server is awesome. It has everything you can think of. Again, Facebook Marketplace. I bought the chassis, all these, like the chassis and everything I needed off of eBay. So I essentially got the form, and then all the internals I was perusing Facebook Marketplace and eBay for almost years, really, like 4 or 5 years before I was able to actually find like really good deals to fill these things up. And like I've been like trying to build this server rack for the longest time, and I was like not able to do it up until now. It really took off in like the last, like right before, I wouldn't say during, no, not during, I'm gonna say after COVID, like shortly after COVID and right before AI. So that little sweet spot is where I was able to find all the things I needed. Like people, like I live in an area where, there's a lot of data centers around here, and a lot of people, they tear down them, or like, the people that I know, that they'll go in there, they're not actually like destroying the data center and rebuilding it. They're tearing it down for new infrastructure. Like you had like the one that I was looking at the time, they were tearing down the data center all the infrastructure to basically replace everything, because it was at that term. I think it was like it was a 5-year period where they renew everything in the data center after a certain point, like after 5 years. And it was during that time, and they just kind of was like, okay, well, time to go ahead and replace everything. But yeah, 960 gigabytes across, same drive, same type, Dell EMC Super awesome. Smart data on all these drives are immaculate. They're phenomenal. Let's move on up to the routing and the wireless. So this is a, this is more, I looked this one up. It's a multimedia router. It's for, it's meant for like people who like have cameras, and then like they, instead of storing footage on the camera, it gets routed directly to the, what is it? To this router, and then it goes to like storage. I think the name is right there. I think it says like Teradek or something like that. It's awesome. I love this thing. It's perfect for my use case. But let's move on over to this one, our router. This one's, we're running pfSense on this, and this is the Think Center. It's running 10 gig. Oh yeah, also this entire network is running 10 gig, by the way. This is, I have a 10 gig card in there. It's all, everything's fiber. It's all using DAC cables. The only thing that I really do have set up that's not 10 gig is the Wi-Fi, and then we have the backup and iDRAC. I don't have the backup cables plugged into all these servers, just in case, you know, the fiber, the DAC decides to take a shit. But everything is redundant. Some of these labels are old. I had an R730XD before in the past, but then I swapped that out. That was down here. This was the R730 was running TrueNAS, but at the time I was just like, I don't need this. I need to swap this out. And so I did. But you know, I have iDRAC, and all these are running iDRAC Enterprise. So these are all R740XDs, R740, 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 and then this is the MD1200. But yeah, the Think Center, let's get back to the Think Center. The Think Center, you know, it's running, I believe it's running an i7. It might either be an i7 or i5. And it's running pfSense with 10 gig. It has 32 gigs of RAM. It has NVMe inside of it. And yeah, everything is routed through here. I've been thinking about swapping this out with something else, but at the time I was just like, I'm just gonna keep running this. This panel also is 3D printed, by the way. I do have a 3D printer. I have an Ender 3, if you're wondering. So a lot of these smaller panels I'll print out, but then like this one right here, the big one that spans across the entire thing, I had to get that. So I had a friend that print that out for me. And then that's how I move on up to the networking, really. I mean, this is really all the networking, but a lot of these are blanked out and don't have really much going on. I do need to plug a lot of these in to where they're all acting as failover. Really, you know, we'll prioritize the DAC, the 10 gig. This is a Cisco 9300 right there. You can kind of see it right there. And it's a PoE switch, 48 port. So Cisco 9300, and this is the 10 gig module. And you can kind of see there. And it's yeah, its base for this is 10 gig. And yeah, I've been looking for this one for the longest time for like relatively, you know, not terrible prices. And I was able to find one on Facebook Marketplace. Some guy was selling it, and I was like, I just need the module. I don't need the switch. I already have the switch. Can you sell me the module? And he was like, yeah, for 200 and something bucks. And I was like, 100%, I'll come by and pick it up. And yeah. And that is pretty much the front of the server. It's everything. Let's go on and move on over to the actual build of the actual servers, like the insides. So this is the inside of the R740XD. So let's start off with what up front. You know, we have our fans, you know, nothing too crazy going on. They're all hot swappable. You can just pull them out, put them back in. All the RAM is maxed out with 1.5 terabytes of memory of RDIMM ECC. Again, these are all procured in that sweet pocket between like right after COVID and before the AI boom. This is when the things kind of took a turn, and I was able to get some great deals in the process. These are Xeon Golds 6152s, 1.5 terabytes of RAM. These are Sabrent. I think these are by 4. There's 4 drives on the inside of them where you can run the 4 drives. And yeah, I have 3 of these, so 1, 2, and then this one right here. And they have 4 drives in them, so 12 total. I put 1 terabyte NVMe drives on the inside of all of these. They're running exactly how I need them to. And then you have your Boss S1 card that's running. You have to run specific SATA drives in these Boss cards, otherwise it won't recognize it. Or when you try to build the configuration on the Boss card, it won't build. It'll just error out. So it'll recognize it if you have them, but if they're not the correct ones that you need, then they're not gonna configure how they're supposed to. And then you have your, let's see if we can get a little better peek on the inside there. That is the card for connecting to the MD1200 back there. And then you have our PERT card for all of our drives. That's down there, down below. If you're wondering why this one's not up here. So this one, these slots, so this slot right here, this slot up here, and then this slot up here, they're all 16x. It's the speed specifically. And the top one is only 8x. So for this drive to be recognized by for this Sabrent to be recognized by Linux and everything else, it need to be in that X16 slot. I'm thinking about swapping these out with different cards that have that's able to change that speed on board, and it's not relying on the computer itself or the motherboard itself. And yeah, that is the TrueNAS server. This is the TrueNAS R740XD. This runs all of our storage stuff. Yeah, there's not much to it, but with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. These servers are all very identical, so there's not really much that changes about these. They're all pretty identical. So this is the next server, same thing. You know, we got the Xeon Gold 6152s. We're running 1.5 terabytes of RAM. All these are very identical configurations. Xeon Gold 6152s, same thing. DDR4, ECC. There's 64 gigabyte DIMMs, and they're all filled out. In the back right here, we have a little change. All the servers as well, they all have Boss S1 cards, so that, you know, we have those faster boot times. You know, we don't have to worry about, you know, booting from the front of the server. We can just have everything back here, and if we need to, we can swap out these drives as needed. But yes, there's a little difference. We have these GPUs in here. This is our application server, like I was talking about before, that's gonna run everything. So locally right now, I'm running Jellyfin and some other stuff. You know, this is all for those high, you know, we can play those 4K videos if we need to, or if we want to on our television via Jellyfin, and not have to worry about, you know, or also scrubbing as well. Whenever you want to go back and forth on the timeline on a movie, you know, you have those. If I tried to do this on like a P1000, that P1000 would be struggling. But with these NVIDIA A2000s, I don't really have that issue. I believe it's right there. Yep, A2000s. So yeah, all 3 of these are NVIDIA RTX A2000s. This is all for, you know, basic workloads. You know, if I do want to run AI in here, I can, but that's not really the main point. This is mainly for like Jellyfin, watching movies and whatnot. And this runs basically everything that I need. It's awesome, love it. Same thing, the PERT card, the Boss S1, and then the same thing like I was saying before, you know, the 16X. So remember, those top on all R740XDs, if you're gonna run the GPUs, you need to make sure that these slots are 16X, otherwise you're gonna be running at lower speeds. So this top one right here is 16X, but then if you look down here, it's not the top one, it's at the bottom one, right there. And this one's not being used. It's that bottom one that's being used. But yeah, Airflow, don't really have any airflow issues with these fans. Are pretty strong, you know. And there's a little space right here. You might be able to see it. Let me see if I can get a better. You can kind of see it. It's like the air from these fans going this way, you know, is able to circulate in there pretty well. So you don't have to worry about that. Have to worry about heat issues much. Power consumption wise, oh my God, it's terrible. Idling at like 400 watts, and then you know that's for the GPU server. This one right here, the AI server, is idling 400 watts, and then when you log in, it's like 800. And I need to switch that up really soon. Like I need to figure that out. Either run like PowerTop Auto Tune or something and try to figure that out. But yeah, the server itself is these servers, they take up a lot of power, obviously because they're enterprise servers, you know, and I'm able to run them. But yeah, it's insane for the power usage. I mean, of course, that's what's gonna happen when you're running Xeon Golds and you know you max out all your RAM with these in every single slot you max it out with RAM, and you're gonna have a lot of power issues, but not really too much power issues. And that's really, I'm only getting those crazy numbers on that AI server. These one, I'm idling on this one, or I believe when I'm at like not 100% usage, but at like above 60%, it's at like 500 watts, and then idle it's like 180. So, and that's without PowerTop Auto Tune. Now I can probably get lower power usage numbers if I swap out these two and just take them out, because I don't really need 3 for running Jellyfin. It's nice when you have a bunch of users, when you have different users and they're watching different stuff at different times. That's awesome, but yeah, if I really want to, I can just take 2 of these out and just run them as is, and this thing would be perfect. But that is the application server. Let me get another shot. It looks great. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on up to the AI server. So this is the beast of all the servers. This thing is a monster. This is insane. The server is maxed out with all the RAM before, but instead of using the 6152s, the Xeon Golds, like I was using before in the other 2 servers down below, and here I'm running a Xeon Platinum 8276L. And yeah, this thing is basically maxed out to, no wonder I'm having such high power usage on this, is because everything in here is like maxed out. This is probably the most expensive one in the entire, like, of all 3 of these. These are NVIDIA RTX A5000s. They're, each of these drives, or each of these GPUs are running 24 gigabytes of VRAM. I tried finding a 48 gigabyte one, but these, I was like, I'm not passing this up. This, same thing, same, different dude though. He was tearing down the data center. He had 4 of these actually. I wanted to get all 4, but some guy grabbed them. I grabbed one of them, and I was like, oh my God, that's such a disappointment. But it's like, I don't care. I'm not worried about it. So I got these 3. He was selling them for about 300 each. Let me see if I can take off the cover, and there you go. And they're all connected right now. Same thing before, like I was saying before, they're all plugged into their respective 16x slots, and that bottom one being used, make sure you plug them in, otherwise, you know, you won't get that full speed. Yeah, this is the front of the servers, and then the internals of them, and then what they're used for. Let's go ahead and move on to the back, and then we can wrap this video up. So this is not really the back of the server, but it's the top of the switch of the 9300. Here's all the slack from the DAC cables that goes back to, you know, the servers themselves. You know, those are the red cables right there. That's the iDRAC, connects all the way to the front. And then let's go ahead and move down below. And there you go. That is the Wi-Fi, and then the router itself. It's that's the 10 gig card. You can kind of see in the back right there. So it has the Ethernet. That's for the internet to go into. But then out the other side, it goes to the switch itself. And then you have this one is just plugged into the back via the PoE port, and the switch will power that. And you know, I don't need to have that little plug, that weird plug in the back, which is awesome. Love it. Let's go ahead and actually move to the back of the switch. I'm sorry, the back of the server, and then you guys can see all the internal, or I guess the back of the servers themselves. And this is the back of the servers. It's not much, but you know, we're running 2,000 watt power supplies, dual ones, so that, you know, if one dies, you have that redundancy. We're running 10 gig cards. You can kind of see on the back right there that the ports are ready for the redundant connections, but I just haven't plugged them in yet. All the servers are like that. They just have to be plugged in to the that RJ45 port, and then you have that the iDRAC port right there. And all the servers, they all have the same configuration really. And then you have your MD1200 at the bottom, right below that. And then below that, we went ahead and when I was working on these, I decided to fan swap the Eaton UPSs, and they are super quiet now. I'm not running what it is. It's like, what does that say? It's like 40 amps. I'm not running that at all. I'm like running maybe 20 amps, and that's not, I barely say that, like maybe 18. With all like, with split up in between all of them, they're still like within the residential power supply, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I'm never gonna use these like over like rated. I'm never gonna use these at what they're like the highest rating for, so I don't have to worry about anything crazy. But yeah, fan swap those, and they're awesome now. Super quiet, love it. And then we have our switched PDU. It has the all these are, this whole thing is networked, a Ethernet cord cable that kind of goes, it's right there, and it goes to the switch and plugs everything, connects everything together. And then you can kind of see right here the connections. Let's actually push these closed, and then you can see the rest. And yeah, that's how it looks right now with everything closed. You know, these actually swing out like this. And those are the cable management arms from Dell's website. Love these things because I do pull these out quite a bit, and it's just awesome when I need to work on these. I don't have to like take any cables out or anything, or have crazy amounts of slack sitting in the back. It's all exactly where I want it. It's essentially purpose built. This entire thing is purpose built. I love this thing. It's awesome. But yeah, that's the server really. Thank you guys for watching. Really means a lot. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, like it, thumbs up. But yeah, this is an update for the server rack, the whole build really. Yeah, I know I'm saying a lot, but yeah, you guys get the gist. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next one.